Here is what a black belt means at Modern Combat Martial Arts, or MCMA. It is not a symbol of invincibility or a participation trophy. It is a certification in combative mechanics, a measurable standard of skill under pressure. In the martial arts world, the black belt label carries confusion. Some treat it as a mark of mystical power. Others hand it out after a set number of classes. Neither standard serves you as a student. At MCMA, we define the black belt with precision. It represents the completion of our intermediate skill development phase, or IST. Think of it as a bachelor's degree in applied physics for unarmed combat. You have built a foundation in basic skill development, then progressed through structured pressure testing. This certification says you can execute your mechanical catalog under dynamic conditions. It does not claim you are invincible. It states you have met a rigorous, measurable standard. That clarity protects your training and your investment. Your journey to an MCM, a black belt, rests on 3 integrated pillars. First, you master a complete mechanical catalog. You progress each of the 6 core fighting skills, guarding, striking, blocking, parrying, grappling, and throwing, through their full cycle of positions, actions, and presentations. Your body learns the alphabet of combat. Second, you pressure test every mechanic under progressive sparring conditions. You start with isolated scenarios, where you apply the single correct solution to a specific condition. Then you move to variable conditions, requiring you to discriminate between 2 or more possibilities. Finally, you train under random conditions, where you must identify and execute the right mechanic in fluid, unpredictable exchanges. Third, you integrate these skills into seamless transitions. You move from guarding to striking to clinching to throwing without hesitation. This is functional skill, not rote repetition. The critical transition in ISD is moving from isolated to random combative conditions. In isolated training, you focus on a single 2-person scenario. You recognize the condition and execute the exact mechanical solution. This builds technical recall. In variable training, you face 2 or more distinct conditions during a sparring engagement. You must identify which condition is present and select the appropriate response from your catalog. This builds discriminative decision-making. In random training, any and all learned conditions may apply. You process, identify, and execute the correct mechanics under fluid pressure. This builds adaptive resilience. An MCM, a black belt, certifies that you can execute your mechanical catalog under random conditions. That is the difference between knowing a technique and applying it when the moment demands it. You have made the transition from knowing to doing under duress. The black belt at MCM comes with a stripe that indicates your level of understanding. The white stripe denotes an expert mechanic. You have mastered the physical curriculum using structured labels for each mechanic, condition, and solution. You can communicate precisely with others and replicate techniques efficiently. You are an expert in the how. The red stripe adds a layer of depth. It signifies that you have studied the principles behind those labels. You understand the definitions, relationships, and cause-effect frameworks that govern your mechanics. You move from knowing the name of a solution to understanding it as a specific arrangement of combative elements. The red stripe practitioner can adapt and innovate because they grasp the underlying science. Both stripes represent high skill, but the red stripe indicates a deeper conceptual clarity that enhances your adaptability. What does this mean for your training? It means you have a clear path to follow. You do not chase vague notions of mastery. You work through a structured curriculum of 6 core skills, progressing from basic positions to random condition application. You test your skills under controlled pressure, not just in the air. You earn a certification that means something measurable. If you see a black belt with a white stripe, you know that person can execute the mechanical catalog under random conditions. If you see a red stripe, you know that person also understands the principles behind those mechanics. This clarity lets you assess your own progress and compare your skill against a real standard. You train for capability, not for a symbol. Your black belt should mean something you can demonstrate. At MCMA it does. Train with purpose. Meet the standard.